Or let me do this real quick. Maybe you didn't see this one coming, right? Of course you did. It's Barbecue Institute. Newest sponsor to the show. But not new. They were around. They've come back. Dropped off for a little bit. Seasons change. Feelings change. But the need for good barbecue does not change, so that's why you want to take your barbecue to the next level with a Barbecue Institute class, right? Of course. Pitmaster Conrad Teddy Bear Haskins uses his years of catering and restaurant experience combined with the food, science, and smoking secrets to help you understand how to improve your barbecue. Backyard barbecuers, those folks who want to open businesses, they drive and they fly in from all over the country. Hell, they fly in from all over the world for these institutes' small, friendly, informative classes. The Barbecue Institute has a full schedule of classes in Texas this spring, covering everything from just short fajita-style classes to an all-day cooking class on how to smoke classics like brisket, pork, ribs, and chicken. Now, let me ask you a question. You ever dream of owning your own business in the barbecue world? One of the most popular classes at the Barbecue Institute is the commercial barbecue class. Learn from Conrad's years of experience owning a restaurant and catering company. How to produce a product that your customers will become addicted to. That means repeat business. That means success for you. Nothing is as expensive as failing in a commercial venture, something we talked about with Harry Sue. Add to this, the class has helped students to start successful barbecue operations all over the country and the world. You have success right there. Having owned too many cookers of every shape and size and all three major brands of commercial pits, Conrad is finally having his dream classic Texas offset smoker built. It's based on his current Gator, but has all the features he's always wanted in a pit. This summer, Conrad is kicking off a Gator Pit Smoker coast-to-coast teaching tour. It will kick off in Prosser, Washington State on June 2nd. Will culminate with a trip to Riverhead, New York on August 3rd. Check the Barbecue Institute website for details, including the locations of the stops Conrad will be making in between these two locations as they are announced. When not teaching classes on the weekends, Conrad is conducting private classes and corporate events from coast to coast during the week. And to make your next off-site event really memorable, have a Barbecue Institute off-site party. Show your employees you care with the very best barbecue money can buy. They will be talking about this event for years to come. People feel good about the company, feel good about you as the boss. For details on all of this stuff, go to the Barbecue Class Institute, bbqinstitute.com. That's bbqinstitute.com. Or check their Facebook page for the latest news, pictures, and videos. Again, it's bbqinstitute.com, bbqinstitute.com. Conrad Haskins, he's right here in the chat room. You got any questions, ask him. Fire away. When's your next class? How much? Hook me up. We'll be right back with Bruce Bjorkman. Stand by.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Muted myself. Welcome back. 14 past the hour. 877-448-0433. Greg at the bbqcentralshow.com. Don't forget, Survey Tuesday is underway as well. Best barbecue pit on the market. Your favorite barbecue sauce. Who will win the World Series this year? All questions to be answered. Joining me now is the Sales and Marketing Director for MAK Grills, a pellet-fired cooker that is garnering award after award. 2 weeks ago, it picked up the Vesta Award for Best Barbecue Other Fuels category at the HPBA in Atlanta for the 4-star General unit. Last year, they won the same award with 2-star General. This happens to be the only pellet cooker manufacturer to ever win this award in consecutive years. And here to talk about it is the Director of Sales and Marketing for MAK Grills and host of the weekly radio show Cooking Outdoors with Mr. Barbecue, which can be heard on KXL Radio. We welcome back to the show Bruce Bjorkman. Bruce, how are you, buddy?
Greg, I'm doing good. How are you, man?
Doing absolutely
Sounds like
fabulous.
you're having a good time.
Oh, we're having a great time here tonight on the show in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, where, believe it or not, it is just shy of 70 degrees. So did some outdoor cooking.
Yeah, I know you
days.
guys are getting the nice weather. We're freezing our buns off out here. We had actually snow this morning. And it looks like we're in for a good cold front and a lot of rain the next few days.
It has been one of the best winters ever, and when I mean best winter, like zero snow. So I'll take it when I can get it. Bruce Bjorkman joining us here on the show. Bruce, I mentioned right at the top, so let's go ahead and talk about it right off the bat. The MAK Grill product line has taken top honors now for the second year in a row. You guys have captured the Vesta Best Barbecue Other Fuels. Different cookers this year than last year, too. I'm sure there are plenty of people that listen who aren't as in tune to HPBA and this award. So if you could give us a little perspective here on the accomplishment and what it means to you and obviously MAK for the company.
Sure. Well, the Vesta Awards are presented every year by Hearth and Home magazine. That's an industry trade publication that goes out to retailers and manufacturers in the hearth, patio, and barbecue industry. And winning a Vesta Award is like getting a Grammy or an Oscar Award for your product. It's very, very prestigious to be able to get an award, to win an award like that. And it's not something that's freely given. I mean, it's like going through Memphis in May judging, because you actually have a trio of judges that come to your booth to view the entry, and then you have to give them a presentation. You get about 15 minutes to do that and to basically present why that particular product entered into the Vestas is not only innovative, but a quality product. And the whole idea behind the Vestas is to recognize and to basically award and celebrate those products that are bringing new innovation to their respective categories.
Now, are there certain criteria that you need to hit on when they're coming through and asking you about this in order for you to have your best chance of qualifying to win the award, or does it not really go over like that?
Well, I think that you've definitely got to demonstrate to the judges the innovation that you're bringing to that particular category, whether it happens to be an outdoor burn product like a fire pit or an indoor furnace. For example, this year, Napoleon out of Canada won a Vesta Award for a hybrid wood and gas furnace, which was very, very innovative. And they are the only manufacturer right now in the entire Northern Hemisphere that's making that kind of a device. Now, to me, that's the thing that really helps to stand out and it best describes what the Vestas are all about. And then in the barbecue category, and I don't know if you've been in contact with these guys or not, but I'll give them a plug because I was very impressed with what they're doing. It's a charcoal, gas, and wood hybrid system called West of Memphis Barbecue out of Apache Junction, Arizona. And a small company, they've only been in existence making these devices for about 5-6 months now. And again, it's good to see somebody bringing something new to the charcoal wood gas category. And then obviously, MAK Grills, what we're doing with wood pellet grills.
Bruce Bjorkman joining us here on the show, Director of Sales and Marketing for MAK Grills, which can be found at makgrills.com. You rolled out that MAK 4-star this year. From the pictures I've seen, just super impressive cooker to look at. Is it possible to compare the 2-star that won last year and the 4-star that won this year, or is there just no comparison here?
Well, there's really no comparison. The 4-star, the MAK 4-star General, has been in development, Greg, for 2 years. And, I mean, here's the thing that really helps to refire my passion on a daily basis. When I walk through the doors of MAK, I know that the people I'm working with aren't just going to design a product and throw it out onto the marketplace. We build prototypes, we test them, we tear them apart. Our engineers are always thinking, what can we do to make this better? What can we do to bring something new to the wood pellet grill category? And that's one of the reasons why it's taken us so long to bring this particular model to the marketplace, because we've built prototypes, we've tested them, we've thought there's a better way to do that, and then we'll go back to the drawing board, build up another prototype of whatever part for that grill, and again test it. So it's been a long time coming, but I think that when the 4-star General comes out and is in stock by mid-June, it's going to absolutely blow you away. It's got 1,000 square inches of primary cooking surface, and then we've gone and redesigned our upper grill grade system to where you can expand the cooking surface to 6,600 square inches.
Wow.
I mean, it's phenomenal. And then the controller, we've got all kinds of new things in the Pellet Boss control for the 4-star, including a zone grid probe where you can actually put the probe on the grid and cook at that particular spot at a particular temperature. The grill's going to be Wi-Fi capable. You're actually going to be able to operate the 4-star General using a smartphone, an iPad, or your laptop or personal computer. So, I mean, we've really raised the bar so far as wood pellet grills are concerned in the competition, the built-in and commercial wood pellet grill category.
Do you have a percentage of people that are buying it that are actually using it in competition versus backyard, or is it kind of one and the same?
It's kind of all over the board right now. It was pretty funny when I got back into the office last week. Man, we started getting phone calls like crazy from people all over the country interested in buying the 4-star General. And, some people were doing it for their backyard kitchens that they're designing this year. Others wanted it for, matter of fact, one guy that owns a produce packing company in California is going to buy a 4-star for his business because they regularly cook for a good amount of people. And so he wanted something that was going to be, easy to use, very consistent, something that could be remotely controlled. And the 4-star General really basically fit that bill for him. So, it's just all over the map. It's been pretty interesting to talk to these people, and they're just chomping at the bit to get their hands on one.
Bruce Bjorkman joining us here on the show from MAK Grills, MAKGrills.com, the website. Bruce, if we could just kind of backtrack a little bit, Traeger used to be the name when it came to pellet cookers. The auger patent fell off, and then a whole bunch of other people kind of came out of the woodwork to jump in here.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
A lot of manufacturers are now in this pellet cooker game, including MAK. When did MAK get into the pellet making business for cookers?
Well, they actually began the process of researching pellet grills and all kinds of grills in the development of what became the 2-star General back in about 2007, 2008. And there's about a year and a half's worth of research and development that went on before they even began producing the first run of MAK 2-star Generals, and those were produced in July of 2009. So as a company, we're not even yet 3 years old. And, it's been gratifying for me to see the explosion of interest amongst pellet heads, for MAK grills. And I really think, Greg, and I'm not saying this just to toot our horn, but, it's been pretty cool to see the fact that MAK has become the pellet grill to own.
Bruce Bjorkman joining us here on the show. Bruce, I'm sure there's roughly 5 hours worth of features and benefits that you could point out to us here, but as someone who might only have a few minutes in front of a potential customer or dealer on why would I want to bring this in, what are some of the real hot points that separate a MAK from one of the other many pellet style cookers that are out there right now?
Okay, well, that's a good question. And, I think let me touch on, if you've been a pellet head and you're cooking on a Traeger or a Green Mountain or a Louisiana or one of the other brands, some of the things that really stand out for me, because I started cooking on pellet grills in 1991, and the majority of that time spent cooking on Traegers. And when I first got introduced to MAK back in October of 2009, here's the things that really stood out to me. Number one, the pellet hopper dump door. The fact that you can open up a dump door, drain out the pellet hopper without having to scoop it out using a cup or your hands or whatever. So that was the first thing that really stood out to me. The other thing is the stainless steel removable fire pot, so you can dump the ash out of it, again, not having to scoop it out with a spoon or your hands or whatever. And then the Pellet Boss Digital Control Center. And that, to me, is just absolutely has no equal anywhere in the grill industry, whether it be gas, charcoal, or pellet. And the ability to program up to 3 meat probes for a specific target temperature. And when that probe reaches that temperature, it sounds an alarm, and the display on the Pellet Boss flashes. And then the fact that you can change your cooking temps in 5-degree increments from 200 to 450. The consistent smoke temperature you get on smoke, which will range anywhere from 170 to 180. On my 2-star General, my smoke temperature is right in the middle, consistently at 175. And we hear this all the time from our grill owners. the fact that when they set their grill temps on their MAK, it stays well within that range, with maybe a 3 to 5 degree variation, which I think is, more than acceptable by any means. So those are some of the things I think that really make the MAK stand out. And then our warmer smoker box, the ability on the 2-star to be able to actually cold smoke cheese and nuts and fish and brine meats at 70 to 80 degrees is really pretty cool.
Now you're going to, with the addition of the 4-star general here, you're going to have 3 different cookers in the products offering portfolio. Where do we start in price points here? And are you going through dealer or distribution through dealer right now, or is it direct through MAK?
Well, our price points start, the 1-star general is $12.99. The 2-star general with the brand new all 304 stainless cooking chamber box and the new grease pan system that we've got is $22.99. The 4-star is going to be $79.99 just for the grill. If you want to get the accompanying roll-around cart with a fully extendable drawer, you're looking at another $29.99 on top of that. So we're not out to be an inexpensive grill. What we want to be is the most innovative, best-built grill, period. And how do we go to market? Well, there are a couple of ways. If somebody calls us directly to buy a grill and they don't have a dealer in their area, we'll be more than happy to sell them one. If they do have a dealer, we want you to support local business. And Greg, let me make this point. And I think it's so important that people need to understand, and we hear this all the time, and I hear it all the time as Director of Sales and Marketing for MAK. People buying off the internet because they don't want to pay sales tax. Folks, you have to understand something. That sales tax is helping to underwrite and support local fire, local police, sewer and water, all the very essential services that we come to depend on every single day. And if we all quit paying sales tax, what do you think is going to happen to those services? They're going to be non-existent. And, there are communities all across the United States of America that are struggling to have proper fire department coverage of their cities and counties, proper law enforcement coverage of their cities and counties. And they can't do it because they don't have the money. Now, we can get into discussions about, bad spending habits and stuff like that by governments. It does go on. But you got to understand, when you pay that sales tax, you're helping to fund essential services. And you're helping to support local businesses whose profits are respent within that community and state. So I really encourage people, whether you're buying my grill or somebody else's grill, support the local businessman.
Absolutely. A very good point there. And I'm sure a lot of people will support when I say, Bruce for president. Absolutely. No, I
don't want the job.
Yeah.
Please, I do not want that job. Thanks anyway. Greg, you go for it, buddy. That's
definitely not me. I'm nowhere near as smart as that. Bruce Bjorkman.
I don't know anybody in their right mind that would want that job today, man.
Not right now. Absolutely not. We're talking with Bruce Bjorkman. Aside from Director of Sales and Marketing at MAK Grills, you can hear him each and every Saturday, Cooking Outdoors with Mr. Barbecue from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 to 3 Pacific on KXL Radio. Out there, and of course the affiliates up and down the Pacific Northwest. Bruce, there are some different price points within the portfolio there. I'm guessing you're used to getting that deer in the headlights look once you hear the price. How easy is it for you to overcome, or is it one of those things where you're just like, look, it sounds like a lot. Here is everything it's going to be able to do for you. You're going to have to bite that bullet and try it out. Buy the best and only cry once, as they say.
Well, that's kind of true, and it's kind of all through those scenarios. There are some people, when they hear the price, you got to give them smelling salts. There are others who understand that they're making an investment, and when they're buying a MAK grill, and they're paying more money for that grill than other pellet grills, but what you're getting in return for that investment of your dollar is something that's going to last for years and years and years and years. And then, yeah, like you said, showing them the different features and benefits of the different grills. Most people, when they look at that grill, when they look at our grills and they look at how well they're built and what they offer that the others don't, then they're able to say, yeah, I can justify that expenditure because I know, yeah, like you just said, quality only hurts one time.
All right, Bruce, we're going to change out of MAK here just for a second. For the folks
Sure.
that don't know, obviously you worked for Traeger for a number of years and then went to MAK. And a coworker of mine actually owns a Traeger, and we were talking about pellets one day, and he said that he had to buy Traeger pellets because if he didn't use them and something went wrong, if he used brand X pellet, it would void his warranty. Is that true, at least to your knowledge, when your time there, did not using a Traeger pellet cause a void of warranty?
Well, it's still a part of the warranty, and if you read the warranty sticker on the inside of the pellet hopper lid on Traeger, yeah, it does say that, But it comes back down to, well, how are they going to be able to prove that unless they fund, lab research or something like that? I would tell you that most hardwood barbecue pellets that are being manufactured today can be used in those grills without any problems. With MAK, we don't have any kind of a restriction like that. If you can use any brand of hardwood barbecue pellet in a MAK pellet grill, and it's not going to affect your warranty whatsoever. But yeah, that's still what Traeger's espousing as part of their warranty requirement.
All right, let me ask you this question, too, because I was probably 2 years or so since I brought this topic up to you, and it probably wasn't the best idea to talk about it at that point, right? I did a little research one time. I found a U.S. patent that Traeger was holding in regards to, I don't know how else to say, but let's say flavoring pellets. In short, adding a liquid wood flavor to a base wood instead of just using a real apple or hickory or what have you. Is this something that was actually practiced at Traeger?
Well,
and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay, when I was there, I don't believe that it was in regular practice. But you must understand that, I wasn't always privy to every single thing that went on there. I can tell you, though, that since the company has sold, which it did in 2006, to the Barish Fund, that they have definitely changed the composition of their barbecue pellets. And here's what that composition is. It's 80% alder, 15% maple sawdust, and then 5% wood oil, whatever type of species wood oil they're using for the various pellets. So it's definitely not the same pellet that it used to be when I worked for them, and initially, when they started back in the late 1980s and then through the 90s and into the mid-2000s.
So, and the thing that jumps right out of me is a thing called wood oil, which, if I'm remembering the patent filing correctly, and I've followed up many times with Traeger, well after you had left, to have them come on and talk about it, because my thought was this: if you're going to spend the time and the money and all the labor hours getting a patent and then never talking about it, if I thought that was the way to make pellets, you can best believe I'd be using this radio show and I'd be looking to book myself on other places saying, look, this is the new holy grail of the way to make pellets, and it's going to be great. It's going to be cheap or whatever. It's going to help manufacturing. Tight-lipped, tight as a drum, and nobody wants to come on and talk about it, which seems to be completely counterproductive for holding a patent.
I don't know how to really answer that other than just saying, it is what it is, and they do what they do, and, therefore, but for the grace of God, go I.
There you go. Bruce Bjorkman joining us here on the show. Bruce, I know you're also a qualified or a certified KCBS judge, correct?
Yeah, CBJ, that's correct, yeah.
How are you finding flavor profiles these days? Have they changed at all over the last couple of years? We just had Harry Sue on in the first hour. He's riding a very tremendous win streak of 4 in a row. He's obviously doing something very correct. But as a judge, on that other side of the whole event, how are you finding flavor profiles coming into you? What's winning?
Well, Greg, I haven't judged for probably 2 or 3 years. And again, it really depends on where you are. It's still kind of a regional flavor basis kind of thing where, one part of the country, judges are going to be looking for a particular type of flavor. You go to another part of the country, and it's going to be totally different or maybe even totally opposite. So I'm really probably not the best person to answer that question just because I haven't been judging barbecue contests, because when most contests are on, I'm on the air.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just going to say, since you're going to be coming up with a show on Saturday, what's going to be bumping around KXL?
I'm still formulating that show right now, so I don't have anything really in concrete at this point. Last week we talked to Rob Walsh about his new book, Texas Eats, which is just a tremendous piece of work. I don't know if you've had Rob on your show yet.
I have not.
Okay, you really need to get him on. As far as I'm concerned, and I know I'm all over the road tonight with you, but Rob is easily one of my all-time favorite food writers, and he's a tremendous food historian. And what he brings to the world of food writing and barbecue is absolutely some of the very best stuff you could ever lay your eyes on.
All right, well, I'm going to have to see if I can effort him here for this show, so I appreciate the lead. Again, we're talking with Bruce Bjorkman. He's the Director of Sales and Marketing at MAK Grills, which you can find at makgrills.com. Also host of Cooking Outdoors with Mr. Barbecue, which airs Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, 2 to 3 Pacific on KXL. You can go to KXL.com if you're not in the local area to catch it. Bruce, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Hey, Greg, thank you, and keep on smoking, man.
You got it. Take care. There he is, Bruce Bjorkman. Telling you right now, I came after him hard a couple years ago on that whole pellet thing, and much to his credit, he towed the corporate line, didn't give me any more information than he thought was absolutely necessary, but we were able to open up a little bit more. I don't know if there was like a non-compete that finally fell off or something like that, but certainly appreciate that honesty because, again, why would you bother going into patents and patent holdings and all of the labor and the lawyers and stuff and not tell people? Why would you tell me about it? You're putting wood-flavored oil. The hell is wood-flavored oil?